Hey guys, I'm DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my Days of Our Lives Week in Review, Dancing with the DiMeras. Alright guys, let me just start off and say this, is that the DiMeras have been somewhat front and center with EJ, Chad, and now Johnny, and a little bit of Jake. And honestly, I have really been loving it. I have really honestly been loving it. If you notice with Ron, is it Carvalati or Calavati? Let's just say RC right now, because I really don't know how to pronounce this man's last name, and I feel like I might have been butchering it for so many videos. But RC, to me, he knows how to write for the next generation, which I feel like a lot of soap writers and EPs have trouble with, bringing that story for the next generation. He understands, I feel like he understands that certain roles and actors are not going to be around on the soap forever, and it's important to pave the groundwork for the next generation. Like with Stefano being gone, I feel like the DiMeras still live on. They can still function. Whereas on other soaps, I question that if certain people were around, could the legacy of the family's storylines still keep running through? I kind of question that a little bit, because and the thing is with RC is that he did the same thing on One Life to Live with Vicky and then Jessica, because Vicky had the multiple personalities. She's like, first generation, and then when she had her daughter Jessica, they've also given her multiple personalities. So that way, if Vicky was to ever go for the canvas, or if Erica Slezak was going to be with us over time, Bree Williamson or maybe another actress that would step into the role as Jessica could carry on that next generation of the great DID storytelling. And you know what I'm saying? Like, because the soaps are called serial dramas. Serial meanings it just keeps going on and 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 on when it'll stop. So you have to think future-wise. You have to think, okay, like what's the ground we're going to pay, because these actors can't be doing the same roles forever. You have to think like that, and I feel like RC understands that. He really gets that, to me, in my opinion, personally. I really feel like he gets that. I mean, Johnny being possessed was super smart, because to end it with Marlena, like, okay, like we would have been, as a viewer, saying, okay, well, what's next? But he already answered that question for us before we even thought about it. And it's cool because Johnny is a DiMera, right? So now this goes into the DiMera family legacy. He's also a Brady because his mom is a Brady. And he's also Marlena's grandson. So, and now he's being married to Chanel, the Prices. This is like, this is good soap writing when you can interwoven like all the characters, like, and it's almost like an umbrella story. You know what I mean? I love that. It encompasses almost all the characters. And one way or another, it's going to involve everyone again. So I can appreciate the writing on that. Now, there are rumors that Chanel may be pregnant, right? And the thing is, here's the thing. If so, this is a question that stands. Is Johnny the father or is the devil? It's giving me Passions vibes. You guys know that this would be a storyline on Passions. This is the type of storyline Passions would have. It's giving me Passions, and I love it. I love it, guys. Next on my list I want to talk about is Lucas kidnapping Sammy. I'm really disappointed in Lucas. I really am. I'm really disappointed in him. I just feel like if you have to do all that to keep someone, she's not the one. She's not the one for you. She's not the one. If you got to do all that just to keep somebody, they're not the one. They're not the one. They're not the one for you. I mean, when Chad revealed to Kate what Lucas had done, you could see on Kate's face she was thinking, wow, so both of my sons ain't shizzle. Out here kidnapping, you know what I'm saying, thinking they're deaths, doing all this crazy stuff just to keep a woman. They're not the one. They're not the one, man. They're not the one. They're not the one. I don't care if Lucas had 20 kids with Sammy. If you got to do all that, she's not the one. She's really not. And you know what? I felt bad for Philip because he's always seemed to gotten the short end of the stick. Same with Lucas. I mean, Sammy chose somebody who treated her like garbage over him. And, I've been reading this book lately called The 48 Laws of Power. They always say you got to watch out for people who read that book. But something it says in the book is that when you treat someone as common for whatever reason, they're more drawn to you than if you treat them like a superstar all the time. And it depends who the person is, right? If the person is like a senior or an elder, you want to, assuage them in some ways. But if they're almost like your peer group, you don't want to do that. And that makes a person like, oh my God, this person flattered me. Oh my God, this person hasn't been looking at me like, who are they? I got to know who they are. All of a sudden. People are weird. And I feel like that's the thing with Lucas and Philip. It's like, They've been doing too much over the years. Brady doesn't have to do that much to get Chloe. EJ doesn't have to do that much to get Sammy. And they got him. And Lucas would give Sammy the world, and I think that's part of the problem. Sammy likes the danger. She likes it. She likes the danger. And he didn't give her that. See, EJ was quick to move on. He was quick to move on with Nicole. And now Sammy wants him now even more. Lucas is like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm right here. Hey. She's not paying him no mind. Sad, what are you gonna do? That's why I felt bad for Philip. I felt bad for the man, because it's just like, from Belle, from all these different women, it's like he's always gotten the short end of the stick. And now he's getting portrayed as a psycho. It wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. But in the day, like, if you have to do all that to keep a woman, fake your own death and do all that, like, just to keep her, she's not the one. If you gotta do all that to keep somebody, they are not the one. They are not the one. That's why when Kate was doing all those things to Jake, I was like, wait a minute now. Because also, that's not Kate's character to do that to keep a man. You know what I mean? Kate is the one who attracts. She's not worried about, she's not attracted to somebody. She attracts. You know what I'm saying? So when she was trying to do all that stuff just to keep Jake, it didn't make sense to me. Like, that's not even her style, honestly. Moving on to another person that's doing too much to keep a relationship is, you know, Gwen and Xander. I no longer feel sorry for Gwen. I no longer feel sorry for her because she just keeps doing stupid stuff. Like, you decided to help Kristen escape jail just so Sarah Horton wouldn't come home to Xander. Now, did she think this all the way through? Because if Sarah Horton's family doesn't hear from after some time, Maggie's gonna go looking, now Abigail's looking, or Jennifer. She has a whole Horton family, which Eli, a former FBI detective who's now a police officer, is also a part of. Come on, sis, use your brain. Use your brain. You know what I'm saying? And her and Jennifer just managed to make peace, and I believe that she really was genuine. And now, when Jennifer finds out what you did to her cousin, that's gonna undo all of that. That's gonna do all of that. And it's just like, Gwen, come on, like, if you gotta do all this to keep a man, he's not the one. I hate it when I see people in shows do all this. They gotta do all this to keep a man, they're not the one. It's one thing if you were married to them, you know what I'm saying, and you doing all that, I get it. But like, he's just your boyfriend. Like, I don't know, like, that's doing too much for me. I would never do all that to keep somebody. If you wanna go. Like, that's my mentality with anything. That's how I am with anything in life. If something is for me, it'll be for me. It won't come with the struggle. It won't come with strife. It won't come with none of that crap. It's gonna flow. If it doesn't flow, then it's probably not for me. That's the way I look at things in life. From relationships, jobs, anything. If it doesn't flow, it's got to go. But to me, I just felt like, be strong, man. Like, the thing about it is Xander is still looking for Sarah. So if anything, you're making him want her more. That her absence, this is part of the 48 laws of power, your absence makes people want you more. You know, sometimes it's the absence increases the respect. And she's gonna lose all her respect in Salem. It's just, Gwen needs to be with Philip or Lucas. She deserves one of those two, because that's her style. Even though Xander is a bit out there, he's a criminal too, but and Xander's done some crazy things, but it's just, I don't feel like it's on Philip or Lucas's level. Yes, he did take a whole paternity test, but I just feel like that was just different. Stay with me here. I feel like it was different. I don't know. I feel like he did it to help her not feel any grief, because that wasn't his daughter, mind you. So, if anything, like, if he really didn't want that for Sarah, he would have made it so that the child would have stayed dead or whatever it was, just so that he could still be with her and she wouldn't go over to Eric. You know what I mean? But he didn't do that. He really loved her. When you really love someone, you love them enough to let them go and want the best for them. Even if that means that affects where your standing is at with them. You know what I'm saying? And Xander really wants that. Gwen is very selfish. She thinks she loves Xander, but she really doesn't. She wants to control him. And I know she can't see that now, but she will over time. And I just feel like her messing that up, because she's going to mess it up with Jennifer at some point. I'm just disappointed in her. I'm so disappointed in Gwen. I am. I really am. Gwen is going to end up back on Jennifer's shizzle list. And that's something I did not want to see. It's kind of like with Ava. Ava's not going too far to keep Rafe at the moment. But it's just kind of like, why whenever people get in a relationship, you have to be secure with yourself as an individual. And Nicole's been through a lot of stuff, and she's done some things, and she's been through she had her Ava moments back in the past, you know, with Sammy and all that stuff. And so she's grown out of that. She doesn't really feel like she has to do a lot to keep a man. Yeah, she did lie about the affair with Eric and all that stuff, and she did all those things. But they were married. I feel like it's different when you're married. I don't know. I feel like it's different. But Ava doing all this is to keep Ray. Sis, move on. Like, when you try to control someone in a relationship, I don't think that you're gonna start to accomplish the opposite of what you wanted to have happen. Because the more you try to take someone away from something, the more they're gonna flock to it, the more they're gonna be gravitated towards it. Because people always want what they can't have, or what seems to be out of reach for them. That's just a natural human thing. So Ava doing that is not really smart in my eyes. It's just not. Same with Paulina and Lonnie. If Paulina was to give Lonnie a little bit of space, you know what I mean, Lonnie would come to her. I'm telling you, it works every time. If someone's pissed at you in life, just go silent. Just go silent. Not all the time, but most times. Depending on your relationship with them. Go silent. And see them reach out to you after a while. If someone's mad at me, I'm not blowing up your phone. I'm not that kind of person. I'll give you time to think. You know, we can talk about it later. I'm not chasing after nobody. The only thing I chase is the French fries at McDonald's, man. Because they got some good fries. But another thing, speaking of Paulina, I would have loved to have seen what it would have been like to have her and Stefano interact with one another. That would have been gold to see. If Joseph Moscala was still alive, I bet you, I put money on it, they would have put Paulina with Stefano together. And I would be here for it. Come on, who couldn't have seen that? Paulina DiMeras, come on now. Come on now. Speaking of which, the DiMeras have a matriarch. I've always wondered that. Is there a DiMeras matriarch? We know what Stefano was a patriarch, but do they have a matriarch? Is it Kate? Is it Anna? It's definitely not Sammy. She hasn't achieved that status just yet. I think she will the next 10, 15 years. But do they have a matriarch yet? You know, I really wonder. But, you know, all the women who have been married to DiMeras men have always been devious and scheming. And Chanel, who else? I'm missing somebody here. Anna, Chanel, Sammy, Gabby. I can't say Susan or Celeste. They were never married to DiMeras men. They just had children with them. Difference, but... Oh, Kate. Did I say Kate already? I think I said Kate. Kate. All mischievous woman. I can't be trusted. But... I'm gonna be real with you. I really loved how Kate had Phyllis back. I love that. That's the type of mom you want in your life. You know what I'm saying? And when Roman was just like, you should have told me. I'm like, she's looking out for her child. And I like Kate. She puts her kids first before her men. But she knew I was back in the past. So I think so she kind of learned from past things with Billy and Austin and, you know, dealing with Curtis Reed. But I like that she's like, I'm putting my son first. I like that. I like that in Kate. You know what I mean? I like that. There wasn't even something to hesitate on for her. Her and Lucas side have Phillips back, but Lucas is on the same type of time that Phillips is on. Kidnapping Sammy? And you know the thing is, I never would. It's funny, right before that happened, I was like, Lucas is such a good guy. He's so great. You know what I mean? But I get it. Lucas just had enough. He's always getting the short end of the stick, people leaving him dry, and I get it. But at the same time in life, if you don't want people to keep doing that to you, you got to take a stand. You know, what happens in life is a lot of times what you allow. Not always, because some things outside your control, but that's something that he allowed to have happen. And honestly, he should... Lucas, nice guys do finish last. I'm not going to lie to you. Nice guys do finish last. I'm a nice guy, but I finished first place because I know how to play the game. You got to know how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? You give a little bit so people don't feel like you're too reserved, but then you don't give too much. Because when you give too much, that's when people start taking advantage. And then they walk all over you like the socks on their feet. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about life. You know what I mean? So I get it. Lucas and Philip, they just reached their breaking point. And Lucas and Philip was a nice guy. Now he's seen as a psycho. Like what they're doing with Chelsea on Young and the Restless. And I don't like it. I don't. That's the one that bothers me for so many reasons. But this is not a Young and the Restless video. This is a Days of Our Lives video. So we're going to keep it Days of Our Lives, all right? Anyways, guys, I feel like I covered everybody in this Days Reviews Dance with the DiMeras. But let me know, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Lucas kidnapping Sammy, you know? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, honestly, do you feel like he was justified? You think he just needs to leave Sammy alone? What do you guys feel about that? But anyways, guys, this is my Days of Our Lives week in review video, dancing with the DiMeras. I am going to see you guys on the next video. I'm out.